everybody, it's Calxiyn here. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember that to join our Discord server, you guys can become patrons over on Patreon. Today we are doing a paid Patreon video requested
you
by
guys didn't hear
Faded.
this. However, you just missed the greatest, loss of a train of thought I'd ever seen in my life. Cal was just like, today we're, and it was enthusiasm, and by the end of it, it was resentment with the world, and it was beautiful, and honestly, Cal, I think I'm a more fulfilled human being for having viewed it.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna talk about Faded Silver-Eyed Warrior Village theory thing.
I saw this. This is a rare
what do you mean
example
you saw this?
of when it was suggested to you in the special Discord thing. Become a Patreon and get the Discord.
Okay.
And I was like, that's very interesting.
Okay, so I'm gonna read it word for word. I guess this is my headcanon theory or something, but I thought of something interesting. Since the world of Remnant is similar, if not identical, to that of a Final Fantasy game, basically, while there is advanced civilization, there are still lots of undiscovered and seemingly uninhabited land. There's a lot of ancient ruins sprinkled throughout the world, so there had to be some form of ancient civilizations before kingdoms formed. There's also a lot of small villages outside the larger cities and nomadic tribes. So what does this have to do with Silver-Eyed Warriors? Well, I've heard that there are still Silver-Eyed Warriors spread throughout the world, and some may be friendly and some may be enemies, and Hazel's comment, we've dealt with their kind before. My theory is that a hidden village full of Silver-Eyed Warriors, this would be the hometown of Summer Rose and maybe some of Ruby's extended family. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because even though Ruby is aware of her Silver Eyes, we still can see she has no clue how to use it or even activate it. Otherwise, the Nuckalave Grim would have ran away scared. Someone needs to train her so she knows how to use it. Also, I think they're being hunted by Salem, but for what reason? I don't know. There has to be a reason why Salem wanted Ruby alive. Maybe she's the only one with silver eyes that she knows of. I know this theory sounds like fan fiction, but I think it could be implemented in the show proper with a few tweaks here and there. What do you think? Now, this was on Reddit. And so I'm gonna read some other people because I think that, it just adds to the theory before we say what I think. As for Salem wanting Ruby alive, she either needs the Silver-Eyed Warrior abilities for something, or she wanted to personally finish off Ruby, or the theory of Salem being Summer is true, she wants to talk with her daughter. So that's what somebody else said. And so that was sort of interesting. I feel like a lone Silver-Eyed Warrior, hopefully not Summer, or a small tribe of them would have to train Ruby to use her Silver-Eyed powers. Exposition from Ozker. I like how they say Ozker. Right? And then just mastering it would feel cheap, especially with how much hype they have around them. Someone said the Summer part sounds a bit too fanfiction-y with its convenience, but, I don't know. I think that part makes sense. That, obviously, if this is a genetic trait, they would have to be related, no matter how far back that they're related. Right? Does that make sense? No, the Silver-Eyed Warriors.
Yes.
Because it's genetic. So it's Summer's distant family. They would be distant family, you know what I mean?
I mean, then you run into the difficulty of we're all a little related.
Well, yeah, we all are a little related, you know what I mean? Anyway, some of us are more related than others, but yeah.
Why did you look away nervous when you said that?
Because
I'm just and it's no big deal. What we had
if you guys don't
special.
know, Hunter's isn't part of your family from Kinmount, and isn't that
the
place in Canada where they allow incest or something?
Yes, because it's the only place you can mount your kin.
So I looked at him. That's why I did that. Anyway, here's what I think. All right.
Didn't you anyways?
I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games series, but something I think really interesting is that there was a hidden district in District 13, and they were sort of underground or something. Yeah. And so, I really like the idea of there being sort of a nomadic village, but I feel like it's, been there, done that, Raven has a nomadic tribe, okay? Let me raise this to you, Faded. What if, underground in Atlas, there are a bunch of Silver-Eyed Warriors, just like in District 13, and Ironwood is hiding them for Ozpin, somewhere in, a bunker, in the bottom of the city, and once in a while they go out to, fight things, but they're basically being studied and experimented on by, the people of Atlas, because Ironwood knows they're really the only people that can, stop Salem or whatever, so they're being genetically, produced or studied or, tortured in Atlas's basement, and it's like their own little village underground or whatever, a Fallout 4 bunker,
it's like fantasy Auschwitz?
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, and so, I like that. I think that's a good idea. Because it has the exact same perks of, like, you know, a Silver-Eyed Warrior Village, but then it also means that RWBY could get trained in Atlas, and also she could see that Ironwood has sort of captured these people, and even though, of course, they're being treated very well, they are being experimented on. So not like Auschwitz, because obviously, you know, but like...
Well, no, in Auschwitz they didn't try to make super Jews, but I did believe people were still experimented on.
Well, no, but I meant, like, the treated well part. Like, of course they'd have very nice, like, living quarters or whatever in Atlas, but they'd still be prisoner, and that scares RWBY because she's prisoner to her power, and all she wanted to be was normal and, like, all that stuff. And, like, I haven't watched or read The Hunger Games in a while, so I don't exactly remember what District 13 was supposed to be. But I like the idea, because then we'd get... like I said, we get the Silver-Eyed stuff earlier. We'd be able to, you know, interact with other Silver-Eyed Warriors, and it would also bring Ironwood and his stuff back into the mix. Because that's totally something Ironwood would do, right? They're already trying to put human souls, like, human souls. They're already trying to have a robot have, like, a human soul so it can, like, do the thing. Like, have aura, right? So it can produce, you know, semblance and, you know, whatever, right? And so it wouldn't be that far to say that, you know, if Ironwood knew that Silver-Eyed Warriors were around and he knew that, like, they were the only thing stopping Salem or whatever. Like, I don't think it's that much of a stretch to say that maybe somewhere in Atlas, Ironwood would take a couple and try to, like, run scientific experiments on them, like, you know, under the military. You know how, like, they say that in the United States, like, Area 51, they're experimenting on aliens or something, like, at the military base? Like, it's the same thing.
I've heard.
And so, I don't know. I think that's a good idea. But as for, like, nomadic, I guess, like, if we want to go back outside... Oh, if we want to go back outside, like, it could always be on that Dragon Island and whatever.
Yes. You know what I was thinking is that the second you brought up Hunger Games, I mean, first off, it's probably been like 7 years since I read
it's been a minute.
But I remember in the third one, you go to...
District 13.
Yes, I mean, spoiler alert for a book that's probably like a decade old now at this point. Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, God, Hunger Games is like a decade old now.
We're old.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, do you want to redirect this back to what we're talking about, or did you blow your mind?
I just need one more second.
Okay. Take a deep breath, Hunter. It's gonna be okay.
Alright, I'm back.
All
okay,
right.
so, I'd imagine that with the Hunger Games, it was like, oh, they suffered a big defeat. Her hometown was bombed to oblivion. Basically, a genocide occurred, which... now that I say it out loud, it's kind of fucked up. And more fucked up than I thought it was when I was reading that end of the second book.
Yeah.
But in the third one, it's just like, okay, this is the end game. We're kind of displaced, but we can go and we can fight back. I imagine maybe that's...
So you want this later, basically, not for the Atlas arc.
Yeah, later. So I assume that maybe, like, oh, you think you're coming on the end of the... It's kind of like in Avatar. You have not watched Avatar, but they invade the Fire Nation. And it's like, this whole, like, it's been built up for months. It's like, we need to invade the Fire Nation. We need to go in this comet, or rather during this eclipse, because when there's this eclipse, the sun is blocked out. And Donald Trump stares at it without special protection. And none of the firebenders can use their magic. Their firebending abilities. I imagine it's something... Okay, so, and then they invade, but they fuck it up. They don't make it. Like, they fail miserably, and Aang and his friends like, well, we have to just leave. So I imagine maybe...
Well, we have to go... How do you fuck it up, though, if nobody can use their powers?
Oh, no, they still fuck it up.
That's pretty lame.
Because he has to kill the Fire Emperor, but he fails. And that's the great thing, is that, like, he loses, like, his one big ace in the hole since, like, early on in the first season, even. It fails, and
that's
it's like,
we
have to bring ourselves up and do
this
again.
Also, here's what I'll say. Yes. Vacuo, like... Dude, like, okay, so you know that guy that was in My Hero Academia, like, the stained guy with the bandages and the cape that went wee, and, like, all that stuff. So a bunch of Vacuo warriors that sort of, like, look like that, and they all have silver eyes, and so when they get there, maybe that's why Vacuo hasn't responded for, like, 1,000 years, like, you know what I mean? Because Ozpin's like, Vacuo hasn't responded to me in a while, and I'm like, feels bad. So maybe in Vacuo there could be that sort of village, because it could... Oh, okay, so here's my other idea, right? So for Vacuo, though, it wouldn't be sort of like the bandits, it would be like the 40 Thieves from Aladdin. And so, like, I think that we talked about this before, but, like, Raven's bandits are just kind of, like, there's not really, like, Raven's obviously the leader, but there's not, like, that sort of, like, hierarchy, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, it's just her, right? But in the 40 Thieves, there's sort of a system, at least in the Aladdin movie. I don't know about anything else. But I think that what would sort of, I don't know, be interesting is, like, for them to have, like, a group like that. Because, I mean, in Aladdin, they, like, steal stuff. But in, it could be, like, a group of, like, basically silver-eyed warriors that work together to, like, kill Grimm and, like, hunt down Salem people. You know what I mean? So, like, bounty hunters, so that's but, like, for Grimm. Like, oh, this Grimm has, like, $1,000 if you kill the Nuck-Nuck, you know what I mean? And so they're a group of silver-eyed warriors that have come together in Vacuo, and they could look really cool and have all their shirts off, and, like, even the girls, it's okay.
Shirts off?
Yeah, because, like I love their abs, you know what I mean?
I love how you say shirts off, then you grab your own.
Yeah, because I'm trying to, like, you know, like... How all those cool anime people
I just find it hilarious
shirts off and
that you're like grabbing
and, like,
your breast and like
mean?
pressing it in to the point where it looks like you're wearing a binder.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I was just trying to explain my idea. So yeah, I really like this idea. Any of these things could work. Atlas, Vacuo, Dragon Island. So thank you, Faded, for this idea. I think it's a good idea. Oh, okay. Do you want to finish?
All I was saying is that, like, it was really cool that they fucked up and they had to pick themselves up.
Oh,
and they learned about a new ally. And I'm like, what if RWBY did a similar thing where they you know, it's like the 11th hour. We can fight Salem, but maybe Ozpin dies. And then
wouldn't that be kind of a Deus Ex Machina thing? If the Silver-Eyed Warriors just flew in and was like, "Hello!" Like, and we never knew anything about them.
Maybe if you start building up to it.
I don't know. That seems kind of cheap, but whatever.
Kind of like how All Might, like you see the other people when Deku uses All Might's power, one for all.
Oh, you mean all those
So
bitches?
maybe she starts getting like visions of it. So at least it's not Deus Ex Machina that it comes out of nowhere. And maybe it's just like, listen, right?
Well, maybe they don't win after that. Maybe there's like still another season to go or 2 seasons.
It's not immediately. But
yeah,
it's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Because
immediate win, I would have been like, Hunter, are you okay? Anyways, yeah, I think we're done here. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that we will see you later. Bye, guys.